indications and results of VA for severe cardiogenic shock. This is first my conflict of interest. First question, what is the population of interest here? There's three groups of patients who might benefit from these types of machines. First, those who have medical indications, and it's probably up to 60 to 70% of the patients in this group, and it's mostly patients with acute myocardial infarction, which might represent up to 50% of the whole group of patients who actually may be in need of ECMO. Other population of patients, end-stage dilated cardiomyopathy, myocarditis, drug overdose, Takotsubo, and two specific groups. One, post-cardiotomy, those who have refractory cardiogenic shock, they cannot come off bypass, or they have cardiogenic shock in the hours following cardiac surgery. And the last group is probably the most challenging, patients who have cardiac arrest. Why is this technology the first-line therapy as of now? And looking once again at the numbers, is the data here from the ELS history. As you can see, there's a steep increase here in the number of patients who received VA over the last 10 years, and maybe over the last 5-6 years, a steep increase occurred here. Why is this technology becoming such popular? Because it has many advantages. It can be set up at the bedside if you use the percutaneous cannulation. It's heart-lung support, and some of these cardiac patients also have lung failure. It's one of the technology which provides the most stable flow, which is not the case of other devices. It's also a machine you can use in patients who have biventricular failure, and it's not the case of the Impella, for example, of small catheters, which only vents the left ventricle. And last but not the least, the cost. It's much less than the other devices. It's roughly around 1,000 euro for a set. It can go up to 50,000 for the newer generation little pumps. So what are the results now in patients with cardiogenic shock? First, looking at the MI patients, because once again, this is probably the patients for whom the indication is the most. There's not a lot of solid data in the literature. These are from a group in Southeast Asia, and here on the left side, patients with profound cardiogenic shock. There was no program available at that time, and look at the mortality here was 72%. They decided to launch an ECMO program. The same patients on ECMO, mortality dropped down to less than 40. So there might be here a rationale for using this technology, although these data are biased because it's almost only a limited number of patients, and the before and after design of the study makes the biases very important here. We have a lot of case series. This is the latest from our group in Paris. We did with our colleagues in Rennes, in Brittany. It's a huge series of patients, close to 140, and we're looking at the numbers. We got close to 50% survivors. Looking back 15 years ago, with the same technology, it was less than 20. Maybe better selection of the patients, maybe better care of the patient in the ICU, make it possible to improve the outcome. Second good news is that for those who survive, almost more than 2/3 of them will be weaned from the machine without the need for VAD or a transplant afterwards. So this good news for these MI population of patients. Other population of patients, patients with fulminant myocarditis. This is a series also from our group here, 41 patients, mostly women as expected in this population of patients. Young women, the mean age was only 38. Some of them got a VAD because it was just the beginning of the program in l'APT at that time, but most of them got peripheral VA, and it is one of the indications for cardiac support in which the survival is the best, was close to 70% 2 years after the event. Of course, this is a very specific disease, young patients, and this is the disease which has a major potential for recovery, so it's explaining why it's probably the group of patients with the best results as of today. cardiogenic shock in cardiac surgery departments. Once again, we're looking at the ELSO registry. As you can see here, there is a steep increase in the number of patients receiving ECMO post-heart surgery. And here it's 2010. It's in the last 6 years that you see this steep increase. And at the same time, the news are not that good, because here it's a survival tests increase in these patients in the latest. This is, as of now, the biggest series of patients post-heart surgery, more than 500 patients. And this is kind of mixed bag here, because the mortality reaches close to 80 within the first days, up to 1 month. But for those who survive, they were followed up until 10 years, and the outcome was quite good. So maybe we need to better select the patient, especially those who got the machine here in the first few, in the first days, to improve the outcome of these patients in the first days following implantation. Heart transplantation is also a population of patients who is benefiting a lot of the technology. 15 years ago, there was only 2 options: go for a VAD, big VAD, or the total heart renew the transplantation, or for the total artificial heart. Now with the ECMO machine, it's possible to bridge the patient to a recovery of the graft if there is a case of a primary graft failure, which occurs sometimes, or the patient has severe RV failure following transplantation, and it's possible to make the transplant heart adapt to the new circulation helped by the machine, which might be in place for 1 week to 10 days, time for the heart to adapt. And this is the latest for our group, and the results up to 1 year now are very close for the ECMO patient that those in blue. We never received ECMO just because it's possible to win the machine for most of these patients after a few days. So now, if we try to look in the close future, in the next 5 to 10 years, the emerging indication, and my patient might benefit from these types of machine, but not for those who have refractory cardiogenic shock. We might focus on patients who have cardiogenic shock, which is still controlled by the medical treatment. These are the data, if you remember, by the German team, the IABP SHOCK 2 trial. Patients were randomized if they had cardiogenic shock, but which was not refractory to medical treatment. As you remember, there was no impact of the balloon pump. The mortality was still high, 40% at 1 month. It reached 50% at 1 year. So there's clearly room for improvement here. I here pasted the cohort of our very sick patients who had refractory cardiogenic shock, and you see it's not that bad. We are not that far away from the SHOCK 2 trial. And these patients were sicker. Our patients with refractory cardiogenic shock were sicker. There's no patient needing renal replacement therapy. The lactate was a bit higher also on average, and the LVEF was lower. If you look at the latest guidelines from the European Society of Cardiology, there's only one recommendation as of now for the care of these patients with severe cardiogenic shock, is to launch what is called a shock team or heart team in your department to discuss every cases with the cardiologist, cardiac surgeon, anesthesiologist, the ICU physicians to take the best decision possible. And looking at the results of the circulatory support devices, as I showed you, the data are not available today. So we have very weak scientific evidence. That's why the indication is a 2B. You might do it, but there's no strong evidence in favor of these devices as of today. That's why we need more evidence. And this is the project of a trial here of VA ECMO in the setting of acute cardiogenic shock. We might launch in the next future. Septic shock. Patients who have septic shock, some of them, only very few of them, but some of them will develop severe low cardiac output syndrome in the evolution of septic shock. This is a series here, 14 patients, the cardiac index was only 1.3, lactate with over 10 in these patients. And this is what happens in these patients. The heart just stops. And these patients are clearly dying if you cannot set up an ECMO machine. Here it's just the minutes following ECMO initiation. The same patient on day 1, as you can see here, the aortic valve is closed. There's some blood stagnation here in the left ventricle. And these patients recover very rapidly. It's the same patient, just the same patient, day 5. Here it's been weaned from ECMO, and most of these patients actually recover the LV ejection fraction if you can go for ECMO early in the course of the disease and before the patient has developed severe multiple organ failure. Another situation in which VA might be the ideal solution is a patient with catastrophic pulmonary embolism, those who have severe shock, signs of inadequate perfusion, high lactate, some of them might have peri arrest or arrest, and these populations have the high risk of death. And in that situation, VA might be used as a unique and definitive therapy, because if you set up VA, you're going to derive the blood from the right side, and those patients are dying from massive RV failure. So deriving 2 to 3 liters of blood from the right side to the left side will make it possible for the patient to survive. And you put the patient on heparin, wait 1 week, 10 days, and that's it. You will be able to remove the machine without the need of complicated heart surgery, embolectomy, or blood or clot aspiration in these patients. This is a new concept also which might be tested in the future. Cardiac arrest, very complicated situation here. It might be in patients who have post-resuscitation syndrome. We evaluated this population of patients here with survival, which was close to 30%, and ECPR. Here, doctors are acting like gods. They resuscitate dead people. Well, sometimes it's true. These are data from Chen in Taiwan in hospital cardiac arrest, quite good results. Also good results here reported by a series in Japan. But it's not that simple. We need also to have a close look at real life data. These data are coming from South Korea. It's a huge registry of patients in South Korea. And after controlling for contenders, there was no benefit of the ECPR strategy. There was a benefit of the therapeutic hypothermia, a benefit of the reperfusion strategy in these cardiac arrest patients, but no benefit of the ECPR. This is not that simple. There's many dead people in cemeteries on whom we can insert cannulas, but I believe it will work. So maybe we should focus on the specific population of patients to benefit from ECPR, witness bystander CPR, ensure efficient CPR at the beginning, and the most important point here is the collapsed ECMO time, which should be less than 1 hour for sure if you want to have good results.